Alright, Sun in Libra. So this is the time period from Sunday, April 15th to Tuesday, May 15th. We're looking at a new moon that is very significant in general and also very significant for you. Being that not only are the Sun and Moon in Aries for this new moon, but also Uranus is in Aries as well for the last time for the next 80 years or so. This transit in particular of Uranus and Aries, we've talked about it in previous editions of New Moon News. It's a significant transit for you as a Libra because Uranus has been opposing your Sun. It's been, so seen on this, there we go, seen on this zodiacal wheel behind me, we have Aries up here and you can't see it, but then Libra right across from it. Just like all the different partner signs, there's this nice balance between each of the two sides of the zodiac, if you will. And of course it's possible to say there's two sides, but seen from any, basically the first 6 signs are the partner signs for the next 6 signs, and then they just keep going in a circle and circle, and here we are. So when an energy is opposite your natal energy, it brings out the best, but it also brings out a lot of challenges for that natal energy. And usually how it manifests is the outside world showing you how to, giving you insight, a room to grow internally. And so with Uranus and Aries the past 8 years, this has been a chance for you to learn how to grow in your sense of self, understanding who you are, what you stand for, what you're capable of, what you wish to do with your life, how you want to put things into motion, and quickly too. Through your interactions with others, you've been experiencing interactions that have showed you, okay, this is who I want to be, or this is who I need to be. They've not always been pleasant interactions. That Uranus and Aries energy has sometimes brought people into your life that have been deeply egotistical or selfish, the shadow sides of Aries, instead of the beautiful, wonderful sides. Teaching you how to be, basically, people have been showing you how to be and how not to be. And this is a lesson that you naturally experience as a Libra going through life. But with Uranus in particular, it's been a leaps and bounds type situation. You meet somebody and it's just huge leaps forward, either in a challenging way or potentially a positive way. But ultimately there is a beautiful gift, even from the negative stuff, that we can gain if we understand, okay, I've learned a lot about this person, I've learned a lot how not to be. So this is a wonderful thing to reflect on for the last 8 years, for this lunar cycle, for the next 8 years as Uranus goes through Taurus. Uranus going through Taurus isn't too significant for you as a Libra. If you have Moon in Taurus, that's a different story, any kind of Taurus energy, and for that I would really recommend a personal reading to look at your situation in depth and how you can grow and change and continue to move forward over the next 8 years. But things are going to chill out a lot for you from here on now, up until when Uranus goes into Gemini about 8 years from now. But even that is going to be really a walk in the park in comparison, in many ways at least, in comparison to what you've been through the last 8 years. It's intense. Uranus is an intense energy, and Uranus and Aries in particular is a very intense energy. And it's good to keep in mind that as Uranus moves forward, because Aries is the first energy of the zodiac, we are stabilizing what's happened over the last 8 years. So it's good to really reflect at this time and ask, okay, how do I move forward? This is who I am, this is who I don't want to be. Now, how do I make that even more solid than before? How do I make that stable? How do I put that into practice? How do I plant the seeds that will allow me to grow and continue to grow for the rest of my life? That's what Uranus and Taurus is all about. So even though this new moon, this lunar cycle is very much a passing of the torch from Aries energy into Taurus energy. We have Sun going into Taurus April 19th, Thursday, April 19th, and that energy is going to be very sweet. You've been through your full Sun energy. With the full moon, we have the Sun and the moon opposite each other, and we have Earth in the middle. The full Sun is when the Sun is in the energy opposite your natal Sun, and so we're making our way. We're at like the first quarter of the year, so for you, that's when Sun is in Capricorn. Sun in Aries, that's like your full Sun, and then it goes into Cancer. That's your third quarter, if you will. If you know the lunar phases, that's what I'm referring to, first quarter, third quarter. The first quarter is the time building up to the full Sun or the full moon. And then when that opposition occurs, it's a culmination period. It's an intense time period. It's what I planted with my birthday month of Sun in Libra. What I've planted with that energy now is giving it back. It's the mirror. And so this last month is also a good time to reflect. And there's a huge time period of reflection for all of us because Mercury is retrograde, been retrograde rather. It goes direct on the first day of this new moon cycle of Sunday, April 15th. Although it's still going to be in its shadow period, it's not going to be where it started going retrograde until May 4th. So we're moving forward. Mercury is in Aries, and that's going to be opposing your Libra energies. So it's bringing about culmination. You're coming out of your full sun period, so things will chill out a lot. And even if this last month was amazing for you, that's nice because we can't be on all the time. We just get exhausted. All that energy, we just need to shift into other modes of being. And so all this earth energy, especially because Taurus is ruled by Venus, just like Libra, this energy is going to be a nice, like, oh, okay, time to relax, time to chill. I needed to be calm. Even if I have a lot of work to do, even if this last month of Sun in Aries and Mercury and Venus in Aries was not what I wanted it to be, and I've identified a lot of things I need to change, ultimately this is a time period of relaxing and being able to, in general. Now Mercury is still in Aries, we'll cover that in a moment, but Sun is in Taurus, Venus is in Taurus at the beginning of this transit, and so that helps things tremendously, just to stay calm, rooted, grounded, asking ourselves what are our pleasures in life, not just about, because Aries energy is very much about motion, action, war, not necessarily, can be, the shadow period is actually war, but the positive sense is also like fighting for what you believe in, and it's good to reflect on your inner Aries, because we all need to find our partner signs within ourselves. It's good to look at your natal chart. For example, I'm a Gemini, Moon in Cancer, Rising Leo, but it's also good to look at the partner signs because that tells us so much about us and how we need to balance ourselves out. So for me, for example, Sun in Sagittarius, Moon in Capricorn, Rising Aquarius. For you, Sun in Aries. And this last lunar cycle has been a wonderful time to reflect on that and go, especially with Uranus going into Aries. It's been an intense one. It's like the last, if you're exhausted, don't feel bad. It's okay. This is part of the cycle of just, I had to get it all out in this last month. I need to be able to move forward. So when Uranus goes into Taurus, I don't miss my chance. Now, there's never any reason to fear, never any reason to feel like a transit is a deadline. But that being said, we shouldn't be lazy with this. When an opportunity comes our way, we really do need to seize it. And we need to not be anxious about it, but to accept the fact that, okay, it's Sun here, or Mercury here, Venus here, this is what it means, let's go do it. And sometimes we're waiting, sometimes it's best to be patient, but at a time like this, we're looking at a time of being patient while still working hard on our goals, but Sun in Taurus is an enjoying, it's more like a receptive thing, so it's like, okay, let everything come to me, and then I'll initiate this Mercury and Aries energy that's going on. I'll say what needs to be said, I'll speak my mind, I'll listen to other people, I'll get things moving, but then I'm gonna chill. This is a time period where instead of outward output, we're looking at more input. Just sitting back, waiting for the right time, and then we strike. That's the thing that's best to keep in mind for this time period, is to allow both to happen. So if things aren't quite going your way, don't be stressed, take your time, embody that Taurus energy, that other side of Venus. Wait for the right time. That being said, when it's time to act, time to speak, go for it, okay? Not only do we have Mercury in Aries being direct and coming out of the shadow period May 4th, we also have Mars in Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn, and these energies are pushing as well. So we have Libra is on my back right now, and then we have Capricorn right here. So these energies are square each other, and especially with that Aries energy, there's a lot of tension, a lot of push towards moving forward. Speaking productively, being able to do presentations at work, being able to make a name for your ideas. That's a beautiful thing about Libra, is yes, it's about Venus, just like Taurus, and harmony and taking care of other people, but like making life sweeter and harmonious and beautiful and finding common ground and pleasure. But it's also about justice in a lot of ways. Now, Jupiter and Saturn have their place too, but Venus is all about justice and what one should receive and what one shouldn't receive. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And what's beautiful is you can get a lot done during this lunar cycle in particular, because Mars in Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn are going, okay, I'm going to help you fulfill your ideas, I'm going to help you fulfill your ideals. And again, as an air sign, Libra, even as a Venusian, you are an air sign, so you have ideas. And so you like to put into practice social ideas, ideals, causes, making the world a better place. This is a wonderful time to be able to actually concretely act on your ideas, your own unique ideas, and be able to bring them to fruition. So one last couple of things. Mars will be going into Aquarius right after this next lunar cycle. That's wonderful for us air signs. We'll go into that in the next lunar cycle and the ones that follow, because Mars will be in Aquarius for basically about 5 months this year. That's incredible, because it usually only takes a month and a half in any sign, because Mars will be going retrograde. We'll get into that. The other thing really is just that Mercury will be going into Taurus May 13th, so that also will be a stabilization. Basically, to chart out this lunar cycle, we're looking at everything is direct from here on out with Mercury. Mercury will still be in the shadow period until May 4th. And then from May 4th to May 13th, it's a sprint to the finish. So if things aren't quite moving forward, move forward. I mean, like, do your best to move forward, prepare, do everything that you need to do, but accept that this is a time period that things aren't quite firing all together, and that's okay. We just need a little bit of patience. And accept that there is going to be a time period when things are moving forward very quickly. And again, that's basically May 4th to May 13th. And then after that, it stabilizes again. So that's a big key, is when to be stable, when to move forward. As long as you just keep that in balance, you're good. Infinite love to you, my friend. Namaste. Patience is a virtue, but so is action. And that's the two different virtues that we're balancing here.